Hi guys, my name is Metodo Mirkovic and my online violin school is metodomirkovic.com, and this violin session on YouTube is dedicated to all parents, moms and dads who would like to help out their kids in violin studying on a daily basis at home. But if they do not know exactly how to help them out in in converting signs from the violin score into the movement of the arm, hand, fingers, bow, and these step by step, brick by brick building, knowing how to convert each sign from the score to the movement are the tips which I am explaining step by step, to be repeated to the kid hundreds and hundreds of times each day. If kid is small, like 5 to 9 years old, only that is guaranteed way to arrive to be self-assured, self-aware and self-confident in violin playing from small age, by having parent mostly who is will to help out the kid, repeating with lots of love, patience and encouragement to the child on a daily basis what to do. And only that is for sure the way to build a habit and how to put these synapses that are seem to be a spontaneous playing. No, they are not. Spontaneous playing is just apparently spontaneous, but before that someone repeated to the kid hundreds and millions of times what to do for each singular sign from score in order to make it become spontaneous. So let's go further. Now we're going to explain or to introduce one more finger, the last but not the least, fourth finger of the left hand, in order to make it easier for the child. I will say from the beginning it is important to insist to use fourth finger in order to create the habit, since it's quite weak as a finger. It does not have how can I put this strength of the second finger or first finger, let's say so, or third also has its own force, strength, but fourth finger is quite weak since it's small, the smallest, the last but not the least, but also it is quite distant from the fingerboard, so they are quite there are some of the things that you should insist your child concentrate on in order to, one, use it since from the beginning and do not avoid its using, and two, how to make it easier. So just insisting on how to make it easier, it can work. It can take some time, but not some time in order like few months, no. Every time the child uses fourth finger, it should concentrate in his head how to prepare the falling of the fourth finger on the fingerboard, and that is all. So if you insist on that since from the beginning, it becomes easy, believe me. So now we won't play in this tip fourth finger, we will just explain what to think or what to suggest the child how to think in order to obtain fourth finger. So fourth finger, let's say in order to play fourth finger, never ever put the fourth finger alone on the string, it won't work. Even now I never ever put the fourth finger, always step by step, finger by finger, as we already explained. The first, I fall down with the first and I don't take it from the string. I fall down with the second, I don't take it from the string. I fall down with the third, I don't take it from the string, and I go with the fourth. But before I say I go with the fourth, some of things are really to be memorized in order to do it correctly, happily, and to avoid the frustration of the fourth finger. Okay, first thing to be concentrated on is the elbow, let's say. Elbow helps a lot in order to arrive vertically with the fingertip on the string, make it fall down vertically on the string. Means, well, let's say again, if I am on the E string, my elbow should go slightly to the left from my, let's say, body out, not like this, but a little bit to the left from me, in order to avoid missing the spot, I mean missing the string with the finger. In order to make it arrive vertically to the string, elbow should, let's say on the E string, go a little bit out to the left from us. One thing. And another thing is avoid please this kind of position with the wrist because it would just make it more difficult, complicated and confusing. In order to fall down vertically and correctly with the little finger, wrist needs to remain straight, please. One thing. Another, in order to make it always easy for little finger to fall on the string, right side of the wrist, from viewing from my point, watching from my point, right side of the wrist, and let's say the beginning of the little finger should be directed to the fingerboard, so not distant from the fingerboard or violin neck, but as much as possible you insist on your kid to direct the right side of the wrist and the beginning of the little finger, root of the little finger, toward the violin neck. Okay, so once more, on the E string, elbow goes a little bit out, wrist straight, and right side of the wrist, and the beginning of the little finger toward the violin neck. And one more very important thing is that as much as I need to stretch my little finger, as much as I need to stretch in the opposite way, opposite direction, index finger. In that order I create that balance needed in order not to run away with the slip away with the fourth finger. So if I have to stretch fourth finger, I stretch in the opposite direction with my index finger, always remaining on the basic position of my left hand next to the beginning of the violin neck. And said all those details, we have the correct position of the left hand, which is to be repeated until millions and millions of times to the kid, until it doesn't absorb that quite non-natural position of the left hand. So elbow helps to arrive to the string in a vertical falling down direction. So elbow on the E string, as I already said, I will repeat, slightly out from our body. For A string it is quite nearer to us, let's say vertically in front of the floor, falls down, I mean elbow. Going on D string, elbow comes more near to our body, and on G string elbow goes really near to our body, and all the other parts, as I already explained, wrist straight, right part of the wrist directed to the violin neck, root of the little finger directed to the violin neck, and as much as I stretch fourth finger, as much as I stretch the index finger in the opposite direction, in order to create that balance needed to maintain the position of the hand on its, let's say, basic position next to the beginning of the violin neck. And also in all these hand movements, rotation movements, thumb should rotate always with the hand, helping the hand to rotate, maintaining its correct straightness of the wrist position, and only stuff that is the same, do not rotate and remain, or let's say fixed, is the root or the beginning of the first phalanx of the index finger that needs to maintain its same point, rotating the hand in order to arrive with the little finger vertical falling on the string. If you want to know more, please do visit my online web violin school, metodomirkovic.com, or please subscribe to my violin channel here. Or please do not hesitate to ask me anything that in your opinion could increase the self-awareness of self-progress in the daily routine of your kid. Thank you and see you.